Terrell Thomas, TheseUrbanTimes, and on the newest edition of Pull Up a Chair, we have a young lady joining us who's pulling up from Southern California, who's joining us in the great Peach State right now, doing wonderful things in music as far as a songstress, a songwriter. So I want to dive into some of the things you have going on creatively, some of your music. Miss Aiyana Lee, thank you very much for coming and joining us today. How are you?
I'm just excited to be here, excited to be alive, excited to be here in Atlanta. This is literally my first time here, so for me it's such a new, fresh, refreshing experience for me because, you know, I think I've been, you know, so kind of grounded in one city, you know, for a long time. You know, for the last 5 years I've been based out of LA, and before that London, born and raised. So for me, like, you know, getting to explore places such as this is just, it's such a different perspective on just, you know, again, coming here, it's real music, it's a lot of real people I've gotten to see and shake hands with, and just experience this sense of unity, especially when it comes to the art of again, music. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
And we're happy to have you here. That's, you know, a very elaborate description of your time.
I know.
So far. Hey, we love that. We love that. So a lot of things that I want to talk to you about. I do want to talk about your upbringing in London. We'll talk about your time in Los Angeles. The city of angels is certainly a different place. I'll talk to you about when your journey into music began, and of course you have a new project that's out, actually released on Friday. So we'll talk about that as well. But I do want to start with London. You know, with your time across the pond. Talk to me about what it was like growing up in London, and what actually made you decide, you and your family decide to move to Los Angeles.
I think you know what it is? I'm so grateful for the experience of just being born and raised in London, because it gives me a completely different view on, you know, then moving to Los Angeles. You know what I mean? So for me, like, the culture, first of all, is completely different. People's mannerisms, the way people approach things. You know, I feel like in Los Angeles, a lot of people stab you in the back, but like in England, at least, you know, the shit's gonna come. You know what I mean? Like, the motherfucker's gonna be like, okay, like, I'm gonna stab you right now. Like, they're gonna be politely like, okay, like, I'm gonna let you know. But again, like, just being born and raised in England for me, again, gave me such a different perspective. And again, like, it's such a difference in people. Of course, the weather, which, let me tell you, I will say Los Angeles weather is just sunny, giving everything it needed to give. But again, like, I'm grateful because there were so many different cultures, you know, so many different experiences growing up, and I was raised by my single mom, and just even that experience alone, just being grateful, and, you know, her just being an inspiration, really and truly. She's a 17 times platinum singer-songwriter. You know, she always had musicians in the house, you know what I mean? Like, we always had music just booming, from R&B to pop to rock. You know, again, we always had people in the studio, and it came a time in my life where I was like, walking in the studio, I'm like, you know what, I think it's time I get on the mic and give you a little piece of my mind. And, you know, it got to a point where I felt like, you know, we both kind of felt like we reached a ceiling in London. So it was like, my whole life, we both looked up to, you know, Los Angeles and Hollywood, and the you know, opportunities that there are that you don't quite get as easily in London, right? It's a different kind of thing. But I mean, look, there's so many great opportunities in Los Angeles, from acting to music to just entertainment in general. So it was really time to get out and move. And I mean, we sacrificed everything to get out there, and we both lost our childhood home. Like, you know, we really struggled, and, you know, wrote you know, rich kids and being broke in a city full of rich kids. That whole song is real shit. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. You know, again, like, we were eating canned foods at some point, and she would sacrifice her meals so I could eat. So, you know, it's again, coming from that childhood of just, you know, again, so many great cultures, so many great people, and then moving to Los Angeles and Hollywood, and then being broke is a crazy kind of switch and flip. So yeah. So
elaborate, if you can, about your mother, because as you mentioned, she, like, that was kind of the blueprint to where. You know, so speak to me about your mother, or speak to our audience, and let them know what she did. And then also, I want to know, when did you realized that you had to glow and that it was time for you to also join that journey creatively?
Well, first of all, my mom's just like incredible, just like the best in the world. Like, it's such an inspiration to me from day zero, from before day zero. Again, 17 times platinum, singer-songwriter, wrote for just some of the greatest, collaborated with some of the greatest. Just growing up, I was always inspired by her and always gravitated towards music naturally. We always had it in the household. She always, the thing with her is she's always supported me with whatever I wanted to do and always inspired me and really showed me even what the industry is, because it's really a shame so many kids go into the industry not knowing what it is, right? You know what I mean? They don't have that ability to have someone who really knows what they're talking about, really, already has been through the ups and downs. Especially being a woman in the game is such a different experience, and so there's such a other side to it. And this industry, without having somebody there right by your side who knows the shit, is really fucking hard. And not having a foundation of, again, she really laid a solid foundation for me of just who I am as a person before, the artist came through. And what was the other question? You said some shit about, when I realized the shit.
When
okay.
you had to glow.
Ooh, you know what? At 2 years old, you know what I mean? I probably realized before then, to be honest, like doing the wah wah gaga shit, you know what I mean? But I probably could verbally express it, properly at 2. I walked in the studio. I still have some recordings at 2 years old of me just, it's litty, it's real. I think I have this, I have literally a cover of me singing Listen on YouTube. You might not want to see it, but it's very passionate. I will say one thing. That girl was passionate. She was giving everything she had to give in that. So again, like, music has always been that thing for me, that escape, that form of expression, that form of creating this kind of, again, like what we kind of did with this project, is cultivate this experience, because I feel like music is more than just listening to a song, right? It's a full body experience of just hearing what someone's been through, relating in your own way, and connecting again with a community of people who feel the same way as well, who listen to the same shit as you listen to. It's, again, like, to me, music is the blueprint of humanity,
That's very well said. So recently you released your debut project.
Yes.
7-track project, Wednesday's Child, Side A. I want to dive into that project, but before, I want to highlight your lead single, or you just also released a visual for the single, Gangster of Love. A wonderful song where it shows how powerful your voice is.
Thank you.
It started off, wonderful. It seems like you're cautious of love, but you're willing to accept that challenge. But if things go sour,
it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty.
So elaborate a little bit more and speak to me about that record, and speak to me about the visual as well.
Well, I think this record, especially for me, I felt like there was not that kind of a love song out. You know what I mean? There's always a lot of people being, again, victims to love, but not dominating the shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I am the gangster of love, and you know what? I'm gonna set boundaries in this relationship. I could be in love with you, but at the same time, I'm not gonna let you fuck with me and step all over me. And I feel like these days, since the beginning of time, we've always been lost in the sauce. We get lost in the sauce. We get in a relationship, we lose who we are. A lot of people lose who they are, and I feel like this is really setting that groundwork and that foundation of, you know what? I'm gonna bring caution to this. I'm gonna let you know what it is. I'm gonna let you know from the beginning, like, I am the gangster of love. Like, treat me like I'm just another body. Like, you might just find yourself in the closet, it says, mate. And again, it's just those emotions, those raw emotions. And I feel like with this whole project, the whole thing is very much unfiltered, right? So it's just unfiltered emotion. And I feel like so many artists and just people in general try to kind of filter and put like a film over the reality of how they feel and try to create this narrative or perspective of who they are, right? And kind of they use this kind of craftsmanship of this imaginary thing that doesn't exist, right? This perfect image of, I don't really feel, angry and this and that, but I feel like we gotta put in those raw emotions. We gotta put in the unfiltered reality of things, because even with social media, at the end of the day, like, most of the shit is fake. So it's bringing a sense of reality back to music and not making it copy and paste. And just, to me, lyrics are so important and so underrated, I feel like, in this day and age. So just paying attention to, really making the work great, really making it raw, and most of all, just honest.
I think that's dope what you said, especially about the power that are in words. I don't think people understand how powerful words are, and that was one of the things that did attract me to the song, just how descriptive and powerful, how well written the song was composed. So that's dope right there. Another song that really stood out to me that I enjoy is Rich Kids, and hearing your upbringing, also gives a whole a deeper view into the song. But one thing that did stand out to me is how you mentioned how you speak on being broke in a city full of rich kids, but speaking of how rich your soul is, and how you're dedicated and devoted to the mission, and you won't let the vices and guilty pleasures of Southern California get to you. Talk to me about that record and the truth behind the record and just how that all came about.
Oh my God! Well, this happened in the studio where we were all just having a conversation. I was like, there really isn't a song about just being broke in a city full of rich kids, and this is something I'm going through right now. Like, that's literally what I was going through. I was like, I'm literally broke in a city full of rich kids right now. Like, this is, again, I had wished almost that there was a song out like that unveiled that kind of honesty, because I think for me then I would have been like, oh man, like, I'm not alone. Like, there are other people who are going through the same things in this city, because all you see is the Ferrari, the Lamborghini. Everyone's doing so well, aren't they? Everyone living the life. But then where are you actually though? Like, where is shit really? Where is it going? And again, prioritizing being rich in the soul, just not even in a cheesy way, but just I need to know who I am as a person before even who I am as an artist, because that's I feel like people get it the other way around, like, oh my God, I gotta, but the person is the artist, right? At the end of the day. So I feel like, again, being rich in the soul, if you just prioritize that, everything else, will come with hard work and, again, keeping who you are as just an individual and as a, being, is just so important. And again, I mean, these are real experiences, like seeing coke on the counter and people doing drugs everywhere. I had and still continue to have, like, there have been friends where I'm like scared of them losing their lives for real. Like, this industry and the city is really no joke. And again, the industry pressures so many young people to do so many different things that maybe they wouldn't normally do, that it's just, and I didn't really understand that, I think, until I got to Los Angeles and that whole vibe and that whole city. But again, having that strong foundation really prevents you from at least, having a little bit of a judgment of, what this is, what is that, and you don't have to do these things. You don't have, like, it will feel that way. A lot of people gonna make you feel like you're gonna have, the pressure is more than you can even comprehend, right? But you do not have to do those things. Again, prioritizing you, who you are, and that's what really, at the end of the day, this whole project, Wednesday's Child, is really about that. At the end of the day, who you are as a person, that strong foundation, and I'm excited for this. I really am.
When we speak on Wednesday's Child, of course you led off with Gangster of Love, but I like that record a lot. As I mentioned, I like Rich Kids. But what is your favorite record, or the record that has the most meaning for you on this project?
Ooh, man. I mean, look, I love all the songs, and it really does depend on the day. Because if I want to get like down and crazy, I'm gonna play "Make You Love Me, Love You Later." If I want to cry and really reflect, it's gonna be "Table for Three," because that record for me is just very much a love letter to oneself, and really, again, prioritizing that relationship with yourself above all else. And then I have another song called "Miserable" that's literally about the relationship, or lack thereof, a relationship with my father, who tried to kill me a bunch of times and then ended up dying when I was 13. So that's a very unfiltered and kind of raw just song about that, which I feel like there are not a lot of an abundance of songs in that kind of lane, and it really combines, genres even. I think this whole project really combines genres and doesn't try to be anything it's not, because I feel like a lot of projects try to be something it's not, and we're all trying to, again, like stick to a genre, stick to a place. But again, with this whole project, we went in the studio and just wanted to create something from the ground up, and not regardless of what the genre was going to end up being. But again, there's so many meaningful records on this project, and I think there's really something for everybody to relate to.
I agree. It's definitely well put together, a wide range, as you mentioned, pop songs, love songs, so I dig that. You recently performed on The Real as well. You performed Gangster of Love on The Real. So how did that all come about, and what was that experience like?
Oh my God, it was fun. It was so great. It was so great. It really came about. I don't know how it came about. It just kind of happened, and it was so fast too. Let me tell you, that shit was so fast. 1 minute we were talking about it, the next moment I was already on stage. Okay. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. But big shout out to, again, my mom, who also vocal produced and co-wrote the whole thing with me, along with some incredible collaborators. But shout out to her, because she really always gets me performance ready. The girl always gets me where I need it to be. But no, I mean, that's such a fun experience. Anytime I get to be on stage is just like a fun thing for me. So we put it together. I went on, and it's just kind of been surreal. I mean, I've had neighbors of mine kind of come up to me like, "Yo, I saw you on The Real, man." Like, I'm like, "Ooh, child, okay." Hey, I'm here for it. I love it. It's incredible, and big shout out to them for putting me on.
Yeah, that's definitely an amazing thing. I also, you working with a lot of legends in the game. L.A. Reid and everything that you have going on with Hitco. And then you've been doing a lot of working and things with Stevie J as well. Another gentleman who has written and composed so many classics, whether hip hop, R&B, and the wide range of music and what his catalog entails. So speak to me about those two gentlemen, L.A. Reid and Stevie J, and what you've learned from being around them and how those experiences have been.
Well, starting with L.A., it was like, it was kind of an instant kind of connection musically. We were already on the same page. The way we met was so random and not planned at all. I was in Miami working with a producer, and I was just outside the session, and randomly he just happened to be in a meeting with some guy. Apparently, there was some guy in the studio talking to this producer, and when I walked in, it happened to be L.A. Reid, and he was like, "I'm L.A. Reid." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I know, man." Like, okay, but I performed, and it just instantly we clicked. It happened so quickly. We were, 24 hours later, we're in this deal, like we're ready to go. Like he instantly saw the potential in me, and instantly was like, we gotta do this as a team. So again, like he's been an inspiration since day one. You know what I mean? Like he's such a he's one of the best in the game, and really, again, one of the only living legends. You know what I mean? And Stevie, this has been such a recent thing, and it's so dope because we've gotten to just do a lot of live jams together. We posted like a different rendition of "Gangster of Love" on Instagram, and it got such an incredible positive reaction, and just being able to like switch up different things, and again, like taking a song of mine like "Gangster" and doing a twist on it on the piano and giving it a different spin to it, like so dope, so crazy, such a different having that different perspective from someone else, period, especially someone who has that musicality. It's such a dope addition to just the whole project of being able to perform live and again have those twists. And it's I'm just grateful to be surrounded by some, again, it's a lot of people who genuinely care about music. I think that's the biggest thing. People who genuinely care about music. It is so rare to find those people in this industry right now. It is rare to find people who genuinely care about music. So again, so grateful, and I think with the experimentation we had on genres, it kind of gives a little bit of a throwback feel, but at the same time, it kind of feels like the future. And my uncle's David Ruffin from The Temptations, and Jimmy Ruffin's my grandfather, so we took a little Motown moment, a little bit. It feels like, because of that almost, we weren't afraid to go there a little bit with it. So yeah, I don't know, I'm excited again. I rambled for like 10 years, so I could go on for another 10 years about it. But
no, that was a wonderful piece, letting us know a little bit, of the musical legends and your family. So that's
yeah. And again,
mom, but of course that's hard.
Yeah, I'm grateful. And again, like my mom, 17 times platinum. It's been such a fulfilling just feeling to. This project has been, again, that the fulfillment of all of that. Of it was a year of last year kind of just figuring things out and putting things together, and we really feel like we've cultivated and created this sound that feels timeless.
Things are slowly but surely getting back to, I guess, what felt like normal before, or we're adjusting to what a new norm would be, depending on how you look at the glass. But how did the pandemic, especially in the beginning stages, I'll say in 2020, 2021, how did that impact your creativity and what you were getting off the ground with your artistry?
I mean, I like to stay inside anyway. I'm gonna be honest, I do like to stay inside, right? I'm a homebody, it's just unfortunate, like how that came about. Like the whole pandemic has been so devastating. I don't think people really realize how bad it's kind of been. And again though, like to flip on the positives, a lot of creatives have been able to really dig in to their space and again reflect on who they are. Again, I always bring it back to this, but as people before artists, right? So reflecting on who you are, what you stand for, what you want to say in this world, because I feel like music is just put out to do whatever it does and put it out and put this out, but like really, like what do you want to say, what do you want to leave behind, you know what I mean? Like what's the bigger picture, you know what I mean? At least for me, not everyone's the same, right? And there's nothing against, let's drop some cool hits here, fucking let's go, you know what I mean? But for me, it's just like, especially with this pandemic, I think we all kind of realized that there's more than just the surface level shit, and people really are gravitating towards, again, lyrics and storytelling and things that are really truly relatable, and not relatable in this kind of surface level way, because I feel like everyone's like, oh my god, this is so relatable, and like that kind of again, a very consumerist type way of where people package something and try to sell it as relatable, when it's like, okay bro, like 10 other people just said the same shit 2 seconds ago. But again, like just being truly relatable by being honest. Again, this pandemic, I feel like it's brought that sense of honesty. So I'm just, again, like this whole experience and just, going through what we've all been through collectively as a society, I'm going to take all the lessons I've learned throughout the pandemic, and, I feel like we've put it into the project, really.
So you take us on this amazing journey, as we mentioned in Wednesday's Child, whether it be, again, your cautiousness in the early stages of love, to accepting the challenge, to going a little crazy. You dissect what life is like in Southern California. You give us a little bit of your personal background, as you mentioned, in Miserable with your father. Still early in 2022. The weather is changing. Things are beginning to get a bit warmer. So, spring is right around the corner. We'll be moving in to quarter 2 and quarter 3 soon, as far as summertime being, a few months away. So what's next for you? Again, I understand you're early in your musical journey as far as, putting things out with your debut project and such, but what's next for you, I'll say, even just the coming months?
I think, again, like, this is only side A, right? This is Wednesday's Child. Side A, so you know what that means, right? It's going to be a little bit of a side B coming, you know what I mean? So, working on that's going to be just great. I'm so excited for that as well, and then ultimately side A and side B leads to the album. So, a little bit of a story to it. But, I think just, in the meantime, just performing, getting these songs out, really touching people, like, in person as much as possible. I know that the pandemic really, we've all been so isolated, and just getting that opportunity, I'm taking really every single, meet with someone, even doing things like this, just being grateful to, again, and be in person and just talk to people and connect as human to human is such a blessing. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the coming months. There's going to be so much content, videos coming out, lots of video. You know what I mean with the visuals. We came out with Gangster as well with the visuals, and that music video, just having that and really taking the story and having a visual representation is just you know, for an artist, I feel like seeing it too, you know what I mean? And visuals again are so important, I feel like, these days, to really capture the essence of the song. So again, I would love to create more visuals and just perform and you know, get the music in as many households as possible.
I encourage you all to take a moment and check out Wednesday's Child Side A. You can also head over to YouTube or TheseUrbanTimes.com and check out her new video, as she mentioned, Gangster of Love. Could you please let our audience know how they can follow you via social media, inform them about your YouTube channel, and just any other social outlets in which you would encourage them to follow?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Aiyana Lee Official. That's AIYANALEE Official on Instagram. And then on my YouTube channel is just my name, AIYANA-LEE, and you can find the Gangster of Love music video and a bunch of great lyric videos out right now, fucking now. I'm so excited to even be able to say that. It's just like you know, something just came off of my chest because it's been a lot of hard work. Not me rambling while I'm trying to give you my socials, but but and then Twitter, which is, you know, AIYANALEE in it, which is INNIT. And it's Aiyana Lee in it because, you know, it's not in it like, oh, I'm in this bitch. It's like more so like in it, like, oh my God, love, in it, like a British saying. Okay. So just for people, if you thought it was like in it, like, where is she in? Like, no, it's not in it, it's in it. So that's the story.
We appreciate your time today. It's been lovely having you in Atlanta.
Thank
Look forward to seeing you again or seeing you on the West Coast in a few.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow this young lady and everything she has going on. Please stay tuned to These Urban Times. We'll be sitting down with her again and bringing you a lot more from this young lady.